Speaking of going well,
Hey,
weapons
nice.
went really well. Made a bet with Winston. He was sure that overall, that Freakier Friday would beat weapons. It's no way.
Oh, Winston.
Yeah. Ed Harrell says yesterday, you're gonna owe Winston $5, 45 million it made. I said, yes, internationally, my friend, it made 45, but overall 75 or 72 for weapons, and weapons crushed Freakier Friday domestically as well. Weapons didn't just open this weekend. It also launched in 73 global markets. As a result, the film pulled in 42.5 million domestically, 27.5 overseas, 70 million worldwide, with a $38 million budget. This is how you make movies, folks. The film is already set for a quite profitable run in cinemas. Disney's Freakier Friday hit 46 international territories this weekend and pulled in 15.5 million overseas to join its 29 million domestic haul, resulting in a 44.5 million worldwide debut. That film had a budget of 42 million. This is really good news in general that we can get into. But Marvel's The Fantastic Four earned another 15.5, a drop of 60% in its third weekend, and a further 17.5 million overseas, where the fall off has been slighter. Overall, it stands at 230 million domestically and 432 worldwide. Superman, meanwhile, is now up to 578 million worldwide, following a further 7.8 domestic and 5.8. Jurassic World Rebirth continues strong overseas, taking in a further 16 million and hitting 800 million, John. 800. Going way past that bet.
We're all lost. We're all lost.
As it costs 180 million, it's really less than the previous Jurassic World installments. The film's already profitable for Universal. The studio is expected to make good coin on Jurassic via PVOD, where it launched on Tuesday. Once again, we see that release hasn't really impacted the film's box office prospects, while the title still earned a further 4.5 million domestically and dropping just 46 in its sixth weekend. Bad Guys 2, Naked Gun are getting staggering international releases, and so box office is varying for them. In the second weekend domestically, though, the films dropped 53 and 50 respectively. Four is already up to 83.9 worldwide. Just jumping to Box Office Mojo, you see again there are the numbers. The Naked Gun, as we see there, so far has made 56. I don't know how much that movie costs. It's kind of a travesty. I wish that movie would have made
18. I think it was only 18.
That's okay. So it's gonna do fine, but I really wish it would have made more. Bad Guys 2, 83 million. I mean, that's got to, I don't know how much Bad Guys 2 costs, but I would assume that's pretty good.
All right, so the budget for Naked Gun was 42. Yikes.
42. Okay. Bad Guys 2, what's that budget, John? Because if that budget, 83 million so far on that's decent.
The Bad Guys 2 budget was 80 million.
Oh, 80. Oof.
Yeah.
80 million. Who's making this movie for 80 million?
Animation is expensive, man.
Come on.
Like, this isn't fucking South Park. Like, you gotta pay, man.
Bad Guys 2 for 80 million. What are you doing?
Well, the thing is, the first one was made for about 69 to 80, but it made 250. So
listen, is Fantastic Four making 500? I feel it will.
I think it's going to be a stretch to make 500.
Oh, I see what you did.
I'm betting steak dinner for about 70 more million, considering it's dropping 60% every week from the previous week. I wouldn't make that bet, but I would say that I wouldn't be surprised, because Superman, which, where the hell did Superman go? Superman's not in the top. It's over here. Okay. Yeah.
Superman is now at 578, and we said between 550 and 6, I think is what and I think that's going to be. That's a nice run, I think, overall. I mean, it's not obviously
win. Right.
It's a win. It's not where everyone thought, and everybody, fans, everyone thought that we're just still living in 2018. But I think 600 million will be a win for them. Not a win for Fantastic Four.
I don't care how you spend that, man. That's got to be
it's a hurt.
And maybe not a flop, but it's close.
It's not that was your big gun this year. Freakier Friday. These are the stories that I love for both. 44 million so far what Freakier Friday has made. Now the question is, has the audience that it was intended for already seen it?
Yeah.
But it was a smaller budget. It was nice that a movie, it felt like a Disney Plus movie, well produced, but it felt like today this should be on Disney Plus. So what people actually going to the theater to see this is encouraging. But this is the story. I mean, this is the story. It's Weapons, because Weapons, people will continue to see this. I don't know how big the drop off will be, but 70 million overall, 42 domestic, 27 internationally. And the thing that was, I think, about this particular movie, John, is I talked about this the other day. My friend called me up and said, "Hey, I'm going to see a movie with my lady. What should I see?" And he gave me 3 options. He said, "Superman, Fantastic Four, Weapons." I said, "Weapons. Go see Weapons." I sent him to see Weapons right away because it's the one that, and he came back and he loved it. He loved it. He said it was he. There are some people who feel this way. I didn't, and I wonder if you will. That the last 3 or 4 minutes wasn't as great as the rest of the movie. I thought the last 3 or 4 minutes was just as great as the rest of it. But the movie is annihilating. It is a small movie. Zach Cretton is a star. He is a directing star. He was going to I saw you talking on Hot Mic, and it's because I think it's because you haven't seen the movie. To be completely honest with you, you said that. Why do you go to Resident Evil, right? And I think that I would have agreed with you had I not seen Weapons. Like, why would you go there? I feel like he and his spin, I feel like he could make Resident Evil what they thought it was gonna be after that game. Like what ultimately season 1 of Last of Us did for us, or did for that game. Popular as that game was. I think that that's what he can do for Resident Evil with his skills. Oh man, I'm so glad to finally talk to you guys about Cash App. I've been using Cash App forever, and now I get to talk to you guys about it. Don't worry, it's very easy, fast to sign up. Do you even know how much interest your money is earning you in your bank account right now? Well, let me tell you some stuff. Cash App can do way more than you think to make your money work for you. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchases, you can earn up to 4% annual interest on your savings. There's no hidden fees, no minimum balance requirements. Also, you can hit your saving goals even faster by turning on the Roundups feature on your Cash App card. With Roundups, every purchase you make using the card is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and that spare change is automatically put into your savings. Don't let your money sit around and gather dust. Make it work for you. Take advantage of high interest savings on Cash App today. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code and earn some additional cash. For real, just download the Cash App, use our exclusive referral code, Kristian, in your profile, send $5 to a friend. Within 14 days, you're going to get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partner. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC, direct deposit, roundups, overdraft coverage, and discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosure.
You might be right. My thing is that it's a hell of a chance to try to take that property, which is, let's be honest, that is seen as a kind of a B level, C-level type of property. Mila Jovovich, I mean, come on. It's you know what you're dealing with.
But it shouldn't have been, because the game is so popular.
Right. The game is popular, but at the time, these are the people that own the rights, and this is the level of quality, like Paul W. was saying, this is a level of quality of director and actress that they're attracting and can get, right? You're not going to get Scarlett Johansson and somebody else to lead. It's not going to happen. So looking at this now, Kreger is essentially going to try to take this thing to the A-list level. And that's the approach. Now, you're right. The video game adaptations have changed so much over the last few years. People have now a higher expectation. They've certainly leaned into more of the cinematic aspects of these games because the games have gotten more cinematic as well. And so you see that that's a logical step. So when I was talking about it, it's more or less like, I don't know why you would take this on because it's such a heavy weight. But as I read more about this weekend, his approach to the Joker story he wants to tell as well. Zach is clearly a guy who is marching to his own beat and is not like, how do I play the Hollywood game? How do I, no, it's more like, listen, this is what is attracting me, and I'm going to spend all weekend or all next couple of weeks writing a whole Joker script, or I'm going to look at Resident Evil. I know what I can do with it and change it. So he's a unicorn in that way as a director in Hollywood. And so, yes, I have still my questions and my doubts and whether it's a wise career move, but if he knocks it out of the park with something that is absolutely an incredible interpretation, then he'll have been proven right that he made this move, that this move was the correct move.
He's taking the big job now, right? And that's what a lot of them, I mean, Coogler did essentially the same thing he did in a movie too, right? Did Fruitvale Station and jumped right to Creed, even though Creed was probably on the same budget level than I think that Weapons, around that, in the same neighborhood, and then he jumps to the big blockbuster,
right?
But I wonder where Cretton's going to go, because
you keep saying Cretton. It's Kreger, right? Because
Kreger. Thank you, Kreger. Yes, Kreger. Thank you. Because you know why? because Matt Serra just watched Jurassic World, and Michael Crichton's name was on the thank you. Gregor
Crichton.
Yeah, it's not, that will not happen for very long where I forget his name, because he is I think he's a massive star. I think that he likes to make movies. You can tell. There is a part of me that goes, oh, I mean, I'm more interested in seeing a Resident Evil than I ever would have been before if somebody else was doing it.
Sure.
You know?
Totally.
But I also go with you and saying, like, he's just done so good in those 2 original movies he's already done that I want to see him do that again.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see him be able to make those movies, but hey, go for get your name out there and be the guy that saves that IP. I get it.
Artists are inspired by what they're inspired by, and if this is what he's inspired by, and he seems like he's not waffling, like you can sense Greta Gerwig in Narnia. That's a thing where she's like, damn it, I shouldn't have signed on to this, but I got to see it out. I got to do the best I can with it and move on to the next thing. It's just, I've committed to it. You can sense that energy when you're reading news about that. That's not the same thing here. You can tell Craig is completely interested in this and really wants to do a great job here and revitalize the franchise, so to speak. So it'll be interesting to see when we start to see some first images, when we start to see some hear about the approach that he's taking. It's going to be fascinating to see the reaction from the fans who are Resident Evil fans, but also the casuals, you know.
Isn't it crazy though too, because you look at traditionally, even when you looked at like 2015, 2016, April was starting to be the beginning of the summer season. They were throwing in at the end of April, they were throwing in Fast and Furious, they were throwing in Infinity War, they were throwing, because you would get week after week of the big movies. And and it was always traditionally, even before that, May would start it, June would be heavy, July, and then July 4th, you get Independence Day, all these different movies, the big movies. And then the beginning of August, you'd get, you know, one movie that maybe a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something. And then that's really the end of summer.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to see the beginning of August is these 2 movies. Yeah. And they're as talked about, or at least Weapons is as talked about as some of these other movies. Maybe not as talked about as Superman, but as talked about as some of these other movies that were out there and doing better when you compare the numbers than, I mean, crushing Fantastic Four as far as when you go with what it costs as far as what it made. So are we in for a change with what people are going to see in the theaters now?
I don't know. I mean, the idea of dead months to me is, I think, slowly going the way of the dodo, because people, I mean, these studios need to have successes almost every month that they're putting out. The film industry needs to have success every month they put out films, and these studios need to find these places where the people haven't usually gone to a movie and take a chance. Like, remember, February was dead for a long time, and then Black Panther and Deadpool changed February around. January still hasn't quite gotten that, but I mean, Aquaman 2 rather, and Aquaman both threatened to turn January into something big.
That came out in December. Those came out in December.
Yeah, but I'm saying the way they carried over into January and Powerhouse. So there is people who will go to movies in these dead months now that used to be part of the traditional calendar. And I wonder if maybe these studios are exploring taking a chance with a film to put it out in a certain month that usually is dead. And so there's not really. So the idea of a summer season or a fall season or all that kind of stuff kind of goes away, where it's more a matter of a consistent year of great movies coming out no matter what season it is.
Well, the only reason that January's always kind of traditionally been, like I always said, the toilet bowl movie season, because or horror low budget movies come out and they put them out there, because you see a lot of the marketing is spent throughout the year and different things. So the movies that they have shot and gone, this is not going to perform for us, put it in January and see if we can make some money off of it. It's usually just kind of how it happens, because you don't want to take those big spots, because February was like the Valentine's Day romantic comedies for a bit, and then they started putting out like 1 or 2 of the big budget movies in February, and March started. And the first time I remember March really doing that was with 300, when that was like 2005 or something. But there's like, you will get those movies, and then November, December has now become summer season part 2, because, and I've brought this up 1,000 times, The Force Awakens is the first movie ever to cross $100 million opening weekend. No other movie had ever done that before, because they weren't going for those types of movies back then. So it's changed, it's moved around, but I think that these types of movies, and the horror movies usually have the opportunity to be the biggest profit ones because they make them for smaller budgets. They get really good stars in them.
Right.
And I liked the deal. I'd love to see what Josh Brolin's overall deal was for this movie because he was a producer on it, right? So they probably cut back his fee. You know, the cast was incredible. You got Julia Garner, Alden Ehrenreich, Josh Brolin, Benedict Wong. I mean, it's a really good cast, and it plays together well. And I like the way he pieces things together. So anyway,
because I haven't seen it, let me ask you this: do you think, because there was a news story that came out over the weekend that like Kreger had to readjust the entire schedule and the film because Pedro had to pull out to go be.
Pedro was supposed to be in it.
Yeah, Pedro was supposed to play. I think
instead of Brolin,
the Josh Brolin character.
Oh,
do you think the right thing happened there? Do you think Brolin was the right choice over Pedro?
Yes.
It's a happy accident the way it went down.
1000%, and not because I'm not a fan of Pedro Pascal. The opposite. I'm a huge fan. He would have been in yet another movie. Overexposure is a real thing. Yeah. It's a real thing. No matter how great of an actor or actress you are, the audience will say, "Okay, we know there other people exist." It's like you don't have to be in everything, and people like Brolin. Brolin's cool. You know, Brolin's cool, and he's great in the movie. And Pedro's not necessary for this movie. I think I think he was great for Fantastic Four. I haven't seen the other ones. I'm going to see the other ones that he did. With Joaquin, and the Materialist with Dakota Johnson. But yeah, I think it would have been a better. I think it would have. I don't think it would have been a good choice. I think this is not that he wouldn't have done the role right, but there's something that Brolin does in this movie. People who saw it. There's a particular scene that happens, and it's not necessarily supposed to be funny, but in the way that he reacts in the scene is hilarious, and not like where it throws you off hilarious. Like that's how I would react if that thing just happened to me. Yeah. Right. And I don't know. And it felt very Brolin. It felt like Brolin was the one who came up with that. It might not have been, but it felt like it. So
he's one of the most criminally underappreciated actors. And by that, I mean, like everyone loves Josh Brolin, right? Yeah. But people don't talk about him in the same breath that they talk about the great actors of a certain level, right? But he is so good at sliding in and delivering these fantastic performances, and they're subtle, they're subtle but noticeable, right? And so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does here because Thanos was an amazing interpretation. No Country for Old Men, hell, even Sicario, his role in Sicario was a fascinating portrayal. So, like, there's so many things that he's been doing for years as an actor that even his Cable was fun in Deadpool 2. So, I just don't think people revere him in quite the same breath, and they need to because this guy is a multifaceted actor.
He's great, and Julia Garner was able to kind of shine in that. There's glimpses of like kind of her very different character, but there's glimpses of what she does in Ozark in this, which I hadn't seen her do in a while. And Ehrenreich, he's always really good. He's always really good, and he's really good in this. So anyway, makes sense why it did what it did. What do you guys think about the box office numbers? Is this encouraging, or is it like, no, it's horror movie? People go and see horror movies all the time. It's not going to change the way people go and see movies. But then I would counter and say, well, what about Freakier Friday? You think that's just because of the core audience who nostalgia wanted to go back and see it, or is it starting to shift and people want to see different things in the movie theater? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know.